Ma'am, no ma'am, I not got.
Okay, have you tried for it or you have forgotten?
No ma'am, that time only I have searched in it.
Okay, so if you have not got, can you repeat your question, please?
Ma'am, a poisonous mushroom.
Okay, fine. See, as mushrooms are, I think, because they are very the thing that is being, you can, have you seen them somewhere where they are growing? Have you
Yes ma'am,
got?
yes.
Okay, fine. So basically, what happens that mushrooms can grow in any of the damp place where not much sunlight should not be there, and a proper shade, dark region where it is very damp, very moist. Their mushrooms can grow easily. So what happens that some of them are edible, which you can eat, the one you have on your pizzas and all that, the one you are eating, that they are called edible mushrooms. Okay, edible word means you can eat, the one which you can eat is called edible. And some are, yes, some of them are really poisonous, and they can really cause a huge harm if you eat them, or if you go for something, even when you touch them, they are so much poisonous that your skin can get infected with it. Okay, so there are poisonous mushrooms and edible mushrooms, and uh, basically, I must have given you the name agaricus.
Yes
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, so agaricus is a scientific name for mushrooms. Okay, so if you go for search, if you Google search the names, then you will get many of the names with the suffix agaricus. So in that you can find out which one are edible, or which one are poisonous. Is it clear to you?
Okay ma'am.
Fine. Actually, the thing is, there is no need to find out the names. Basically, at your class, you just don't have to remember the names for them. Just do remember why they are poisonous and how they are poisonous. Do they are really poisonous? Okay, what happens? The one which you eat are being cultivated, and just like the agriculture, and the one which are poisonous, they are basically growing in the wild regions, wild area, just for their own protection. They are poisonous, because if they are not poisonous, any of the other animal can eat them. So that's why they are poisonous to protect themselves. Is it clear?
Yes ma'am. Ma'am, but there is a question ma'am, that's why only I'm asking. Name a poisonous mushroom.
Name a poisonous mushroom. Okay, in your textbook it is there.
Yes,
Yes
ma'am. In
ma'am.
the reference book, it's given dash is a poisonous mushroom.
Okay, fine. So let me find out the name according to your book, and I will give you after this. Okay,
Okay ma'am.
fine. So let's move on for the topic for the environment today. And so, as we are studying, we are focusing on the biosphere reserves and national park and sanctuaries and all that. The thing is that because of, as we know, that deforestation is the main issue which is leading nowadays, and due to deforestation we are facing lot of problems, and that is why our environment is degrading. That means the quality of the environment, the quality of the surrounding, everything, if you consider air, water, soil, everything is just there. The quality of these natural natural uh, things is just degrading, it is going down. The even air is not good, water is not potable, the soil is not good for agriculture. And the simplest reason is that because a huge deforestation is happening. If the things around, the way we cut the trees, just thinking of that, if I am cutting one of the tree, it doesn't makes any difference, but it do makes difference. Okay, so that is why we are facing lot of problem nowadays with the with everything which is naturally available to us. So what happens that when you when you go for deforestation, so what happens with it that main thing which our climate or our environment faces is sometimes it is huge drought conditions, and sometimes there must be floods. And another thing about it is desertification. These three things are happening at a very high rate, at a very is like it is speeding up nowadays. So you must have seen that drought condition is there. The agriculture people, the people who belongs to in the business of agriculture, they understand this drought, because it is not about the way it is shown in the movies, that if there is a drought for the from 10 years or 20 years or 25 years, but drought can be for 1 year and it can be a disaster. Okay, because drought is because of decrease in groundwater. First of all, that is the biggest issue. And because no rains, if rain is not there or scanty rainfall is there, then definitely that region where the agriculture has to be done, and I think you must be aware that agriculture activity is very much dependent on the seasons, on the months. Okay, so suppose if you have a particular seed, okay, and the perfect month or the perfect timing to sow it in a ground, suppose it, I'm just taking it some random seed, no name has to be given. Okay, so let's take this, um, if seed is there and if you decide to uh, sow it in a soil in the month of, suppose, April. Okay, April, if you as just think like a farmer, that you have decided to sow it in the month of April, on the basis of what, that at the last week of May rainfall will start. Okay, or first week of June, let's say first week of June. 5 to 10 days doesn't make a lot of difference for them. Okay, so definitely there will be they have to take a special care for this, but if you go for a week difference, then it is okay. Suppose because the seed has been sown in the month of April, and the farmer has calculated that in this duration they should get they should start getting started with the rainfall. Suppose it doesn't start, and the month of May is gone, and the month of June is gone, and now it's a July, and it's a mid of July, still the rainfall is not there. And suppose it starts and it's very scanty, it's very less, then what will happen? The seeds which you have sown will die, and that is also a drought. Have you understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
So that means you will not get the desired production. You will not get the calculated production you want. So that is a loss for the farmer. Okay, because the farmer has thought about something else and something else is happening, and that is lead to the condition like drought. Basically, drought has to be understood that without rainfalls, some regions are suffering without rainfall from last 5 to 10 years continuously. That is also a drought, and this type of condition can also be a drought. So this is how the drought is very much dangerous, or it's a fearful uh, thing for the agriculture. It's for the farmers. So that is the thing. Now let's go for the if we see this, that floods. Nowadays, if you are watching news, it is happening almost everywhere in the world. Okay, so floods are there, and I think you must have studied in your lower classes that trees uh, have roots, and these roots hold the soil very firmly. They will not let go the soil with the water. So because
And
of
this
trees,
prevents soil erosion.
yes, the soil erosion doesn't take place if trees are there. But what if you cut the forest? Suddenly, huge number of trees are being removed, and the huge area of the land is now barren, and that is leading to the flood. That is leading to the uncontrolled flow of water from the rivers and from any of the natural uh, resource where from where the water is coming. So that is leading to the flood like situations where you can't hold the water properly. Definitely you have dams, definitely you have the water reserves when you can keep the water for the whole year. But what happens, our dam are not that much efficient that they can hold the enough amount of rainwater. You must have seen in the news channel that because of high rainfall, the dams doors are being opened and the water is being released. Okay. Yeah, and as you are watching news nowadays, this is the common thing is have been you can see nowadays on the television. So dams can, yes, they have the efficiency to hold the water, but not that much the way the trees can do. So if you have trees, then what will happen? They have a lot of soil which being holded in their roots. Basically, if you go for the old trees, the trees which are 100 to 200 or 600 years old, okay, those trees have the roots in a very large area. Okay, and that much area is being protected, that much soil is being protected by that tree. But if you remove this much old tree, then what will happen? Definitely we will face this particular calamity. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now fine. And the third thing, if you go for it, is desertification. Okay, do remember that whenever we go for ATION, desertification, Asian if comes, that means you are adding something, something is happening. Okay, so what is happening over here? That formation of desert. Okay, desertification means formation of deserts. And how the deserts are being formed? Just as because you go for the social study and you study geography, and in that you study the soil profile, how the soil, different type of soil is there in India, and different type of soil is responsible for different type of uh, agricultural crops. I think you must have read this in the social studies.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Yes,
okay,
ma'am.
so now what happens that if you remove, it's a very desert is not formed in one day only. It is not like one day process or within 10 days or within a year. It takes almost a decade to form a desert. Okay, it will take nowadays it takes decade, but it should take almost 100 of years to form a desert naturally if it is happening. But what we people are doing, that human race is doing, that we are triggering that process, that the deserts are forming at a very high speed, or a very early process is happening in the formation of desert. So what happens that if you have suppose a forest with so many trees are there, okay, so that soil is highly fertile because it's a forest. The trees fall, trees die, and new trees grow. That is a common process is happening inside the forest. Naturally, everything is going on. If trees are dying, then new trees has to be grown, and that is how the forest survives. But that soil, because that soil is very much fertile, okay, and definitely that particular soil is very much moist, it is damp. So it is very much comfortable for the growth of the trees. But now what is happening that if we go for deforestation, if we deforest that place, if you remove the trees, if you cut the trees, then what happens? That soil is in exposure to sun, wind, okay? So that whole area, that region is in direct contact with the sun, is in direct exposure with the wind. Now what happens? Because of wind is in continuous contact, and what happens? It will dry this particular soil. This wind leads to the drying up of the soil, and sun will help in that process. Okay, it will dry up the soil and sun will help in drying up. Okay, evaporation occurs, the moisture is gone, and that whole area of the soil will get dried up. After drying, then what happens? The hard rocks will be formed. Yeah, Raghav, you must have seen on the ground that it will get cracked, and like this, you can see the pattern on the soil, okay, because of cracks. So hard rocks will be formed. Then suddenly what happens? Uh, After some time, these hard rocks will be broken down, and slowly and steadily what happens, it will converted into sand like particles. Okay, the soil is being converted into sand like particles, and that whole area can be converted into deserts. So it takes basically what happens that it takes hundreds of years to complete this process. Then only the desert can be formed. Okay, do understand, on this earth, the where you can see the deserts right now, they were the forest before thousands of years. Okay, they were actually the forest, but naturally the whole process happened. The forests are gone, and nowadays you can see them as deserts. But after thousands of years, what will happen? These deserts will be converted into a good forest, and the forests which are present right now, they can be converted into a desert. That is how the whole earth cycles are. Okay, but what we are doing is that what the humans are doing, that we are just cutting the trees randomly. We are just going for the construction purpose. There is no protection for any natural resource. So we are triggering this process of desertification in our surrounding. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so
Yes.
that is
Ma'am,
what the
Sahara, ma'am, in geography I have learned that Sahara Desert was also a forest.
yes, Sahara Desert, the Gobi Desert,
Thar Desert.
yes, all of them were forest at one time. If you go back thousands of years back, then they were the forest ones. Now they are converted into desert. But that process is natural. That is because the earth is balancing its own natural resources in its own way. So that's why it is converted into desert. That doesn't mean that we should help in the formation of desert. So, understood?
Ma'am, can you once again tell that how the desert will again change to the forest?
That process will get reversed, beta, because reversed in the sense that if you see nowadays that the Rajasthan is also facing the floods. Have you seen in the news?
Yes, ma'am.
And the Rajasthan is the state where India is holding its desertic places. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
And
Okay.
Thar Desert.
Yes. So what is happening there is, if they are facing flood right now, like this, if this is happening for almost 25 or 30 years, they will face same kind of situation. Then what will happen? The sand particle will slowly get destroyed by the pressure of water, and that will be converted into a soft soil. And once the soil is formed, definitely it will allow the trees to grow over there, and slowly that process will happen, and then it will be converted into a grassland. Then grassland will be converted into forest. That is how it will take place, but it takes place a huge number of years. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes, Vinay?
ma'am, till now any desert has been converted into forest.
Till now,
Any desert has been converted into forest.
just repeat your question, but I cannot hear you.
Ma'am, till now any desert has been converted into forest.
Okay, let me write down. Am I hearing it right or not? That any desert is converted into forest. Is this what you are asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So that is what I said. The you are the whatever these forest area you are seeing right now, they maybe there may be the possibility that they were deserts in the older age, but now they are converted into forest.
Ma'am, please name a place, ma'am.
We you can't say that because that is just a prediction. That is because if you go, if you read something, then Gir forest is the place this type of theories are coming. Okay, but still it is not confirmed exactly for 100%. But still, with the Gir forest, all these things are coming up. Have you heard about the Gir forest?
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, Gujarat.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Gir. Okay.
Ma'am,
So
Gir. Ma'am, lion is there.
yes, lions are being preserved over there. So Gir forest actually, what is mean by Gir is the whole name is Gir Nar. Okay, the whole name is Girnar, and they have Girnar actually means mountains. They have the mountains over there, and now it's a forest over there. So it's they are just coming up with the theories that there may be the possibility that thousands of years, if you go back, then there may be the possibility that that area was a desert, and now it is converted into a big forest. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Ma'am,
but yes, Pranay?
ma'am, this you have told the formation of means ma'am hot desert, ma'am, how the cold desert is formed.
Okay. If you go that for geographically, if you are going and if you study, for that you have to study better the patterns of the climate. For that you have to study the soil profile of that. Do you understand by soil profile?
Ma'am, layers
Yes,
of
ma'am.
soil.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you must have studied the layers of soils are there. Then there are so many on the that means what you can say in geography that uh, you have a spheres, a crust, core, and something like that. You must have
Yes,
studied.
ma'am.
Okay, so that you have to see, and then how much time is being there for the for that area, how the trees, which type of trees are going, which type of geographical pattern it is having, then you will understand better hot deserts and cold deserts. This process what I am telling is it is for the common for both. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but if it is situated on the polar region, then the situation may be bit different as compared to the if you are coming to towards the equator. Got it? And if you read for some other books, then you will come across the word. Let me say that you will come across the word succession. Okay, you may come across with this word. In that you can if you read this topic, then you will come across that even the oceans are converted into grasslands or ponds or lakes. Any water body can also be converted into grasslands or forest. Okay, and how these lakes are situated where, and there you can go for this hot deserts and cold deserts and all that. So that is a different topic, and but what I have made you understand that how deserts are formed and how they can be there may be the possibility that deserts can be converted into the forest. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, Pranay?
Ma'am, in Ladakh, ma'am, there is so much cold, ma'am. There could be, ma'am, snow, no, ma'am. Ma'am, then how desert can be formed, ma'am, if there is no direct contact of sun, ma'am, the snow layer is there.
The reason is that because that is what I am explaining. It is not only the one factor which is involved when you are talking about environment. It is not only the sun or a wind or something like that. First of all, you should know geographically its location, what you are talking, that if it is on the poles, if it is
Yes,
on the
ma'am.
equator, okay, if it is on the tropics, then you should, that part is very much important for them. Then you should you must be knowing about the tropical regions and temperate regions.
Yes, ma'am. In geography I learned.
Okay, so that is how you have to study. When you talk about something like this big, then it is not only that sun and wind, there are so many factors which are being involved. Okay, because human population must be there, animal population must be there, there must be some proper type of trees that may be found over there. Okay, so all of them are involved in that process. It is not only the layer of the soil. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so because of no contact, because their sun is very because that region in Ladakh and all that regions are very cold, and because of snow, you think it has that particular land is having water, but the water is in form of ice, and that is also not useful. Okay, that doesn't help the trees to grow. The type of trees you want to grow over there, it will not be allowed. It has some geographical restrictions. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so in Ladakh you can't have the neem tree or banyan tree easily. It is difficult. It is quite difficult. There you have apples, there you have the trees like the way you see your Christmas tree, the conifers and all that. So
Ma'am, pine.
pine, cycas, all these are possible. But that is what I'm saying. It is not only one factor which is involved in the formation of deserts, or only one factor is not involved in the formation of forest. There are so many things which are undertaking part over there. That is why I told you that if you are very much interested in that, then just read this topic in books or wherever you can, wherever your resources are there. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
then
Yes,
you
ma'am.
will get some of the idea. Then you will get some of the idea that how the forests are being formed in the land where you can't see a single tree. There may be the possibility that these forests can be formed. So that is how this happens. Now, let's if we come on this, that biosphere reserves and all that, that what is the necessity to conserve them, what is the necessity to conserve all these natural uh, things which are already available on this earth, and they are the things that being are formed before humans. Trees were formed before humans, and the all these different type of uh, uh, like microorganisms and basically fishes and all these, they are present from so many years. But why do we need to conserve them? Just because as humans, human interference have exploited them. Due to exploitation, we need to conserve them, we need to put the rules, because if rules are not there, then nobody will listen, nobody will go for um, that thinking that we should not do a harm to that particular uh, natural animal or trees or something like that. Okay,
Ma'am, after
so
some time they will become extinct.
yes, they will become extinct like dinosaurs. You can't see them nowadays. Okay, and not why we should go for dinosaurs? You have so many birds, so many fishes that you can see nowadays. You must have heard about sparrow, a very common one.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
you know
Yes,
they are
ma'am.
also extincting.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You can't see them in your city nowadays. It is very hard to locate them and it is very difficult to find them easily. But if you go 10 years back, then it was very much easy to see the sparrow. They were dwelling in our house, they have the nest in our house, but nowadays that is not being seen. And yeah, definitely in the villages, and if you go somewhere where very large number of trees are there, then definitely you can see them. But they are extincting. They are on verge of extinction just because of exploitation, because we are disturbing everything in the environment. Okay, see, we need to put the rules just to protect these animals and trees. The reason, because even the educated human or the human, those who have power, those who have money, they don't understand these things in a very simple manner. Let's take me the example of the very huge superstar it is there, and I think some of you must be the fan of him, that is Salman Khan. Okay, and you must have heard about that he is having the case because he went for the hunting of that black buck deer.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, while when he was on the on some on of his work, he went for the hunting, and he because he and his whole group, whosoever is present over there, I don't know the names, but the thing is that uh, when we talk about that illiterate people doesn't know the things, they break the rules. Those who are ignorant or from the villages, those people break the rules. It is not the case. Even the powerful humans, even the educated one will break the rules if we don't protect all these animals. You know, black buck is an endangered animal. It is an endangered species. It has to be
Yes, ma'am.
protected. And that guy, that the hero, so-called hero for all the people, he hunted that animal. Just develop that thought in your mind, that wasn't he, isn't he is a educated man, isn't he is a powerful man, he is a very much respectful in the society, then why he is doing all these wrong things? Okay, that means even these types of people cannot understand, so we cannot hope from the people who are not literate, who are illiterate. You cannot have a hope from them. Do you understand this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that is why we need to put the rules. Very strict rules has to be kept for these national parks, sanctuaries, and biosphere reserves. Okay, so that is why they are required to be conserved. Okay, now all these natural habitats, these biosphere reserves or national park or sanctuaries, if we talk about all the trees present over there, okay, and if we talk about all the animals present in these places, in biology we don't say trees and animals, these are the English words. Okay,
Ma'am,
biology,
flora and fauna.
yes. For plantation we say flora, and for animals we say fauna. Okay, so these are the English words which you come across, and these are the biological words we should use. So flora and fauna of the particular place is very important, and it has to be conserved the way it is given naturally to us, the way it is being provided by our environment. That is how it should be protected. Understood?
Ma'am, why
Yes,
for
ma'am.
trees flora is kept and why for animals fauna is kept?
Okay, fine. That is because biology comes from the Greek language, and in Greek language, flora means plantation and fauna means animals. Understood?
Okay, ma'am.
So biology basically is very much influenced by Greek language and Latin language and all that. So that is how these words are coming up. So flora and fauna has to be used, and they just take one example. Okay, you are living in your home from the day you were born. Am I right? Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and
Yes, ma'am.
you are living with your parents from the day one when you came on this earth. Am I right?
Yes,
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 ma'am.
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 Fine. Now think, if suddenly uh, I come over there, you don't know me, and I just take you from that place. I just take you from your parents and take away somewhere. Let me take you at the place called, suppose, Shimla or some Himalayas. Let me take you to the Himalayas. Okay. Then what will happen? Will you enjoy
No, ma'am.
if I do that
No, ma'am.
forcefully?
No, ma'am.
You will not enjoy because your habitat has been changed. You don't know any of them around you. You don't know me who took you. You don't know the place where I took you, where I am placing you, where no matter how beautiful place that can be, no matter how because our city is very hot, the weather is not comfortable, sometimes it's very sweaty and it's very feel the heat. So what you will feel that snow will make you feel good, but suddenly if somebody do this to you forcefully, then you will not feel good. You will, what will happen to you? Suddenly you get depressed, and you will not you don't want to stay there even for a single day. What you will do, you just push yourself to go back to your home. Okay, so that is what is happening with the plants, that is what is happening with the animals also. Okay, so if you just see, definitely you can't take the trees from one place, from one location to another. Okay, from equator to the poles you cannot take them. And definitely the animal living on the polar, suppose polar bear you cannot take to the equator, that you cannot do. But what if you change the temperature of that polar region, if you just make it hot, will it be good for that polar bear?
No, ma'am.
No,
No, ma'am.
it will start feeling uncomfortable. If you you just see this in a very small scale also, you can see, you have if you have trees in your garden, small plants are there, just pick one of them from the roots, and just try to grow in some very place, some where it is a bit far away from your house. Suddenly that plant will also die, because that environment is not friendly, that environment is not known to that particular plant. This is happening to the plants and animals also. That is why we need to conserve them wherever they are present. Understood? So that is what we will go for the next topic, that is called endemic. What do you mean by endemic is endemic species. If I take this word, okay. So endemic species means the particular species include anything, either flora or fauna, anything. There may be the trees in it. There may be the animals also can be. Species includes both of them. Okay, so endemic species means the suppose particular X type of animal is found in Asansol, and it is not found anywhere else in the world. It is Asansol is the only place where this type of animal is available. then that animal becomes exclusive. That animal becomes very much high profile. That is why it is called endemic species. Now you have understood?
Ma'am, please explain once more.
Once more, let me take up with the example. If I go right now, suppose if I take Gir forests, okay, they have lions in them. These types of lions are not found anywhere else in the world, not even in other places of India. These are the only lions which are present in these forests. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
So that's why these lands become exclusive, because they are very much uh, restricted to the particular place only. They can live here only. If you change their place, there may be the possibility that they will die. Okay, they will not be able to survive. So Gir forest are the place for the lions, and these lions are found exclusively at this location only. That is why they are called endemic species. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Now you can have, if you heard about the panda, they are
Ma'am,
found,
China.
yes, bamboo forest. Okay, wherever the bamboo forests are there, the panda is there. If you China, just come nearby Tibet, in Tibet also it is being seen. So these animals where bamboo forests are there, there only the panda is can be seen. So they become endemic species for this region. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So
Ma'am,
yes, Rina?
ma'am, any species is found only in one country and not in the other's country, then we can say it is an endemic species.
Yes, because in that, if you say if a particular animal is found in one country, then do understand that whole country is not having that animal. Only the one city or one location or one forest is responsible for that particular animal, to keep that animal. Even not in the whole country you can find it. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
They are very much restricted to the particular place. Okay, see, if you take these lions, suppose to the jungles of the south, then they will not be able to survive. Okay, and if you suppose you take these panda to the jungles of Africa, then they will not be able to survive. No matter it's a jungle, it's a forest, you are providing a natural habitat, but they will not be able to survive over there because they are restricted to their own place only. That is why they are
Ma'am,
called.
climate.
Yes, even the climate will not help them. Okay, so they are very much uh, reserved, that we will stay here only, don't take us anywhere. That is what they say. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is what the endemic species is there. Even in trees, like there are many varieties of mangoes are there, oranges are there. You must have heard about the oranges from the Nagpur.
Yes, ma'am.
Nagpur, in even in the TV advertisement, you must have
Hmm.
seen them. Okay, so Nagpur oranges will remain in Nagpur only. They will not be able to survive in Pune if you take all these trees in the Pune. Understood this?
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? So that is what we say, that they are reserved to that their own places only, and they don't want to go anywhere. They don't want to shift their places. That is why they are called endemic species. Understood this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
You have lot three, four examples in your textbook. That is in your NCERT books, I think. Just see them and You have, if you Google the endemic species of India, suppose if you go for endemic flora of, just type like endemic flora of India, then you will get the names of large number of trees. You will get big list is there.
Ma'am, rhino is also there.
Yes. Okay, you are watching it right now.
No, ma'am. I
Okay, fine.
visited, ma'am, seen.
Okay, okay, you have visited, then that is good. So that is how the endemic species are being, some of the butterflies are also endemic. You can see some particular type of butterfly at a certain places only. They are not available in
Ma'am, yellow color, ma'am.
yes.
White color.
Yes, the pure color in which no other color is present, no designs are there. So that types of butterflies are also endemic in nature, because they stick to their places only. They will not leave their place, and they are found at one place only. Is it clear to you?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am.
but migratory birds leave their place, ma'am.
Migratory birds.
Yes, ma'am, migratory.
Yes, that is, migration is something which is required for their survival. Okay, because if they don't migrate, then they will die.
Like
Understood?
Siberian crane.
Yes. For them, migration is their necessity. Understood? That definitely, that's why they have to migrate. Otherwise, you must have heard about penguins also. You must have about the seal fish also. They also migrate from one place to another in polar regions.
Ma'am,
Just watch when the penguins are coming up on the geography on some these wildlife channels, then you will see that even penguins are also migrating. Yes, Brenda?
ma'am, I was telling that you told that the species which are only found in one country or one locality in the country are known as endemic species. Ma'am,
Yes.
can it increase to the 2 cities or 3 cities where they
There
are
may be
found?
the possibility. There may be the possibility that if uh, like I don't know how much news you read, or how much news you can you see on the televisions, but there was a talk about shifting these lion from one forest to another, and it was being decided that these lions from the Gujarat should be shifted to the forest of Bengals. I don't know, have you heard about it or not? But these type of news you can read if when you read something about it. Okay, something about these animals. There may be the possibility that they can be found in 2 to 3 other areas also, but it will not be much. It will not be in large number. Okay, it will be very much restricted. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Like cactus. Cactus can be found in deserts only. Definitely nowadays we have ornamental cactus at our home, or everywhere on the places where you can bonsai art is there. So that is a different thing. But the natural cactus, which was naturally developing, that is found in the deserts only. So that will be there only. You cannot find them on the grasslands. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So that is what the endemic species is. So what happens? These endemic species become endangered species. Endangered species. Do you understand the difference between these two words? Endangered. Sorry, spelling I must have written wrong. So endangered species. Why these become endemic species become endangered? The reason is because, first of all, see, they are they are present at the particular place only. There is no other place where they can be found. So they are very much restricted to that particular place. So what happens then suddenly, if we start destroying that habitat. Suppose if you start destroying the Gir forest, then that will be a danger to the lunch. Got it? Now,
Yes,
one
ma'am.
reason is that then as human population is increasing, we need how constructions, we need housing, etc. for our well-being, for our lifestyle. So what we do for construction, definitely forests are being destroyed. And you must have heard about the farmhouses. Those people who are rich, they
Yes,
have
sir.
farmhouses. So these farmhouses are built where it is green area, where there are forest area is present. So if you do the construction over there, you are interfering somebody's life, or somebody interfering somebody's habitat. That may lead to the disturbance in these species. Then you have do you understand these two points? That destroying the habitat or increase in population.
Yes, ma'am.
You're getting what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Fine. Now, third, because these 2 points are commonly what you see, but there is one more another point, that introduction of new species. Okay. Now, what do you mean by, do you know something about this introduction of new species?
Mhm.
Probably not. Let me tell you this, that what happens
I'm
is,
knowing what the animals are.
sorry,
I'm knowing what the animals are.
what the animals are. No, it is not the, this is not the thing. What, let me correct you for this. Introduction of new species. Now, let me take this by example. Okay. Now, suppose you have a pond. Okay. You have a pond, and in this pond, suppose you have a, a particular type of fish. Okay, they are living over here, and these fishes are very much endemic to this pond. I'm just giving you one example. Just do understand what this point makes you understand. Okay, so if this type of fishes are endemic to this pond, that on suppose on the whole earth, this pond is the only water body which is bearing this type of fish. Do you understand what I am saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now suddenly what happens, all this is happening just because of the human activities, because humans are very curious, and sometimes this curiosity becomes the notorious one. Okay, it becomes a bad thing for everybody. So suddenly what happens, that if somebody comes here and they come with new type of fish, and it is something big, having a different type of uh, stature, and that fish is being introduced in this pond, suppose. Okay, and that is what I'm saying, introduction of new species. Now you are artificially or by knowingly what you are doing, this human is introducing the new species in this pond. Okay, now these fishes, suppose they are quite big in size, or they are quite powerful, or they are suppose they are very much have the nature like the hunters, they are the killers, just like sharks. Okay, so what they will do? They will start eating up these natural available fishes. Is it clear to you? So that if out of 4 they eat 2, then these 2 fish will become endangered.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it? So what
Yes, ma'am.
that is what I have to make you understand, that if you destroy this pond, then the habitat is going to destroy, these fishes are gone. So this lead to the endangering the species. Okay, first reason is that if I destroy this habitat, that means if I destroy this pond, then these species, this species of the fishes will not be found anywhere. Then these also become endangered one. We have to protect them. Another thing that because of increasing human population, suppose somebody decides to, because this nearby area of the pond is very good, so let's close this pond with and dump the soil over it, so so that we can make a new construction over there. So they just dump the soil on this pond, and suddenly all these fishes will die, they will die. So that can lead to the endangered species. Okay, and
Yes,
third point is introduction of new species. If you introduce the new species which was not there geographically, which was not present previously from the previous time over there, okay, so they are just introduced. A new species is being introduced in that area, and that can lead to the death of the population of the fishes which was already present in that pond. It is clear to you?
Yes,
yes,
ma'am.
Ma'am.
So that is called the introduction of new species. Now see, this thing may occur with the plants also. Suppose at on one ground only the suppose this type of trees are growing, all of them are same, okay, and suddenly uh, uh, somebody comes with new type of tree, that these type of tree should be grown over here. So that means you are introducing the new species over there. And when you are introducing, when you are incorporating a new species, there may be the possibility that these trees has to compete with this type of trees for the nutrition, for the soil from the ground. And when they are competing, there may be the possibility that these trees may die, they don't stay strong. So that can lead to the endangered plants, endangered trees. Understood this?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
so that is what is called introduction of new species. So that should not be done. And if you read about this, then you will hear about in West Bengal only, because their fishes is a staple diet. I think in West Bengal people eat lot of fishes, right?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, so fish cultivation is happening there. So somebody, what they did was, there is one type of fish that was already present in that habitat, and somebody found the big fishes of same type from in some other foreign country, and they just brought over there and introduced in the pond over there in West Bengal where the fisheries is being done. and suddenly what happened, that those big fishes became the killer for the originally species present over there, and then they killed all the original fishes which were already there in the pond, and that lead to the mass death of those fishes. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
it is not, see, introduction of new species is not always wrong. There may be the possibility that two of them just become friends and they live happily ever after. But there may be the possibility that they can, they basically what happens, they will give the competition to the originally species present over there. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that this is what the thing you have to understand for this, and anything to be asked till now?
Ma'am,
No, ma'am.
Yes, Veda?
ma'am, all the endemic species are the endangered species, or some endemic species are like those which are not endangered?
Basically, all of them are endangered nowadays, because the thing is, because they are restricted to one place, we have to protect them very fragile, in a very fragile manner. Okay, so uh, what happens basically with that, they are very much because if suddenly the climate changes, then also they are they are in the danger situation. If suddenly their what happens there, um, because it's a forest, they have the competition for food, shelter, and everything. If that doesn't uh, just favor them, then also they can die. That's why all of them, all these endemic species are the endangered species. Is it clear
Okay,
to
ma'am.
you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
Ma'am,
Hmm?
ma'am, in our garden also, though we plant different types of plants. So, ma'am, that is not considered as introduction of new species.
No, because when you have a farm or a garden, you are providing them a very comfortable environment. They will not give the competition to each other, first of all. Okay, because if you have a good garden, then definitely you are providing them water, you are providing them total nourishment to the soil must be given.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else? You must have heard about Nilgiri plants, Nilgiri trees.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Then if you have gardens, then you ask your gardener that can I plant a Nilgiri tree over here? He will say no. You know the reason?
No,
Why,
ma'am.
ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Because Nilgiri plant, wherever it is present, it will just suck up the whole water around wherever it is present. The whole surface, it will have the capacity to suck the water very fast. So till these other plants will start absorbing the water from the soil, uh, it will suck within few hours only. The whole ground undergoes it just dry up. That is why Nilgiri plants are not grown along in the gardens basically. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And regarding that, the name you asked me, right, for the mushroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, do you need scientific name or just the common name?
Common name only.
Okay, so there are many of them, and let me write down it for you. Okay, so I am writing over here. These type of species of mushroom are very much poisonous, and the common name you can have is a web cap. I just remember this much only.
Ma'am, Amanita.
Yes. Okay. I just remember this much only. You just confirm this by googling it. Okay.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Amanita
here
was
it's
given by your teacher also.
The teacher has told you.
Amanita.
Yes. Anita is there. It's a very much. It's considered as the poisonous in the whole world. That particular species.
ma'am, here it's given dash is a poisonous mushroom, ma'am. So what we should write, scientific name or common name?
That is what I am asking. What your teacher asked you to do?
Ma'am, our teacher gave the answer Amanita.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, weight
Amanita
cap,
is a
ma'am.
scientific name.
Ma'am, weight cap is also a name. Ma'am. Hello.